Hey there guys, today I want to come back with another different build. We're going to be doing a bit of a unique one, and by unique I mean possibly, very possibly not good, not meta at all. So what we're going to be doing is we're playing the fighter today, and what we're going to be doing, well, I want to use the halberd basically. After dying to that warlock recently in one of my recent videos with the halberd, I'm not sure if that guy was just lagging or what that was, but I've always enjoyed the halberd and I want to use it. I don't really think it's viable, or maybe it is viable. Maybe it's better than I give it credit for, and that's what we're going to be trying out today, basically. So I think the perks we're going to run, of course, there's not really much perk support for two-handed fighter in general, so we're probably going to be going with, like, Swift, probably, like, Adrenaline Spike. We could go combo attack, but because we attack so slowly, I don't think we're really going to be getting too much value out of this. So I think possibly let's just go for like, maybe honestly just something like projectile resistance, and I guess we could go with defense mastery. We're probably not going to be getting too much plate because we need to make sure we're not slow. We can't really afford to be slow with the halberd because it's such a massive movement speed penalty, so I'm thinking maybe something like this. If you want to play more offensive, I guess you could take combo attack instead, and because the halberd does do so much damage, I guess that would be okay as well. Honestly, maybe that is the better idea. I've actually just convinced myself to not go with my original plan, so let's try this out and let's see what we can do. We're going to spend 2k gold on a kit, or probably, we'll just see what we can get with all this gold, 2,153. It's not like it's going to be a huge kit anyway, but let's see what we can get. Let's go and first of all start with our weapon. Now, you know, we're probably going to be spending about 200 gold for a very solid weapon, so that is, of course, one of the nice things about using off-meta weapons. This is something I've been talking about a lot. If you're not exactly rich and you want to go for a decent budget kit, you can definitely consider, instead of buying like a green falchion or maybe a blue falchion, you can instead go for a epic version, or perhaps even cheap legendary if it's really off-meta, of a less powerful, less respected weapon. Of course, it's not going to be as good as if it was like a purple falchion or something like that, but it's trade-offs, right? You're going to be saving gold here for trading that off so you can spend more gold on the rest of your kit. So I think probably we'll go for this halberd. This is very nice. 10% physical damage bonus pretty much, 2 physical power and 4 max health, 57 base damage on a halberd. 200 gold for that. Let's go ahead and buy that. Now, one thing to note is the halberd itself has a minus 50 movement speed penalty. So if we use sprint, we're just negating our weapon. We're actually not even gaining any movement speed from using sprint like that. So we need to make sure we're fast. We cannot afford to be slow with this build. So we're going to be getting quite a bit of agility and getting additional movement speed and stuff where we can. Now, I think the number one start piece to begin with is probably going to be a Chapelle de Feu, because this thing gives you quite nice defensive stats and doesn't really slow you that much at all for a plate helmet. So I think it's also quite off meta and people don't really use it too much. So we should be able to get a pretty solid one for pretty damn cheap. But let's go ahead and see what we can get. Now, to be honest, it looks like we're probably not going to be able to get anything super good for really cheap, so what we're probably just going to go for is this one for 99 gold, which will give us a little bit extra damage and some extra action speed. Some knowledge literally doesn't do a single thing for fighter anymore now that they changed magical interaction from knowledge over to will, so complete dead stat, the knowledge, but the rest of it's okay, and, you know, for less than 100 gold, it's pretty good. Now, for gloves, there's actually a few options. Heavy gauntlets are pretty good, but I think what we want is, because we want movement speed, we want to go for light gauntlets instead, because these ones, while they do normally give you a -1 movement speed penalty, they also give you agility for some reason. So if we can get like a decent pair of blue or purple ones, light gauntlets, we'll be pretty happy with those. There's actually this pair of light gauntlets with 3 dexterity and 2 physical power for very, very cheap. But actually, let's have a quick look at epic first before we commit to those. I'm just swapping between stats to see what we can get, which is actually quite nice. So I'm swapping between vigor, you know, you can even go for like true physical, but I wouldn't go for true physical because, first of all, it's quite expensive. Second of all, we're attacking quite slowly, and that's where like these flat damage bonuses tend to do, of course, the best if you're using like daggers or very quick attacking weapons. So I don't think the flat damage is going to be the best for us. I think we want some like either vigor, dexterity, action speed, something like that. Possibly strength as well. Oh no, we can't get strength because these have strength on their base. Nah, I think we will just be getting these rare gloves. It looks like epic ones are quite expensive still. Now for legs, I think we only really have one option, which is of course going to be loose trousers. We need speed, and loose trousers are generally one of the easiest ways of getting quite a bit of speed, and especially now because all attributes is a stat, if you go for something that doesn't have all attributes, you can actually usually get things quite cheap. So let's go ahead and look for like additional movement speed, I think. So we could get +5 movement speed for 260 gold. That does actually seem quite expensive, so perhaps we could maybe look for... I'm not really sure. Let's have a look. Okay, I think we're going to go for these loose trousers, which also have 2 vigor. They are still quite expensive, but it's pretty decent for loose trousers. Loose trousers are just quite an expensive base at the moment, because kind of lots of different classes want them. And I think for our chest, we're probably going to be going for plate, probably dark plate armor, and that's why we're going to be running Swift. Of course, a lot of these items don't really have that high movement speed penalties, so we could possibly drop Swift if we aren't getting too much of a value, but we'll probably reassess it after we've bought the kit. Now, I think we're going to buy this dark plate armor with +2 all attributes. Of course, in this series, or in most of my build guides that were like a bit budget, we have been avoiding all attributes mostly because it is a very, very expensive attribute. However, because it's like a little bit, it's a base which isn't used too much, the dark plate armor, it means that possibly you can get some decently cheap ones, and we do still have quite a bit more gold to spend. However, we are going to want some good pair of boots because we need the movement speed. So we're probably going to be looking at spending a good chunk of this on the boots, and then we'll get a cloak, and then we'll just get a few cheap other pieces that we can. Probably just some like action speed and strength or vigor, something along those lines. Now we can get these Lightfoot boots with 3 agility and 3 physical power for 200, so those are looking pretty good to me. Now with our weapon away, we are actually sitting at 303 movement speed, which is quite nice. Now we are going to be quite squishy, of course. We're only at 109 health, we're only at 27% PDR. Those will go up a little bit when we get our cloak, but either way, we are still going to be very squishy with this build, which I think is why this isn't probably going to be that viable, because you just need too much movement speed to balance having a halberd out. However, this will mean we're actually above the movement speed cap when we use our sprint with our weapon away. There is this quite nice cape up for only just under 300 gold. Let's do a quick check of the budget. Okay, yeah, that sounds fine to me, actually. Let's go ahead and buy that. That leaves us with 500 gold for a secondary weapon, so probably a crossbow, and our full jewelry. Our jewelry is going to have to be cheap pieces, so we'll see what we can do about that. Probably just some action speed, maybe some health, maybe movement speed on rings if we can afford it. I don't know. First of all, let's buy a crossbow, because I feel like that's going to be more important. We very easily could just, or very likely we're just going to go for a very cheap crossbow here. Depending on how expensive crossbows actually are for decent ones. Let's go take a look. I think possibly let's just spend 140 on this crossbow. It's green. You know, our budget's getting very low at this point. We do have some good pieces, but we're not focusing on the crossbow, so that's why we're just going to go ahead and get a cheap one. We do still need meds as well. Also, probably a campfire, things like that. Bolts. Let's quickly go ahead and buy those, because those are probably going to be more important. Let's buy a campfire. Let's go ahead and buy bolts. Let's go ahead and buy 2 stacks of potions, 2 stacks of bandages. We do of course, have some of our meds from our base kit here, so... you know, if you can excuse those. We do have our Franciscas as well, but these are junk. They do 12 damage now. After the most recent nerf, throwing weapons do basically 0 damage, but they do slow a bit more, so, you know, it's not a loss-loss situation. So we now have 300 gold, so we're going to be spending just under 100 gold per jewelry slot, so let's see what we can get for that. We could actually get +1 all attributes with some cheap green neck. I think perhaps let's just go for the cheapest +1 agi, +1 all attributes. Or, actually, no, I've changed my mind. Let's go for either Vigor or Dex. Let's check which one's cheaper. Vigor, 69. Dex is 50. Okay, so let's go for the cheapest 50 gold neck we can there. 240 gold, we can spend 120 gold on each rings. So let's go ahead and see what we can get. Okay, we're definitely not going to be able to afford all attribute rings, which I didn't think we would be able to anyway. So let's go ahead and look for some, perhaps action speed, maybe on like a strength base. We could go for this one and then buy something a little bit cheaper. I think that is probably a good option. That gives us 109 gold. And there's this very, very cheap ring. It's a shame we can't quite go up to this one for 91 gold that we'll go ahead and buy. Are rings this low in impact even worth buying? Who really knows? But let's do a quick test and see how much movement speed we actually gain from Swift and decide whether we're going to actually stick with Swift or not. Let's see, we go from 308 movement speed down to... 300. So we do get 8 movement speed for this perk, so I think that honestly probably is worth using. It's honestly surprising that it's that high when we, basically the only item that we have which really slows us that much is our Dark Plate Armor, and of course our Halberd if we do have that out. We have 18 gold left. Let's go ahead and buy one more stack of potions and we will be fully at 0 gold. Now, is this kit going to be good? Almost certainly not, no. Is this kit going to be okay? Possibly. This is, of course, quite a bit of gold spent on some very good pieces and some pieces which are basically straight up trash. But this is just something I want to try out and see how the Halberd actually feels. We have, of course, went for action speed more than you normally would do in a fighter build here. That could be our downfall, but I feel like with a big, slow two-handed weapon, action speed is quite a nice bonus. And generally, it's actually quite cheap. I believe it's undervalued quite often, so I don't know. We'll see how this goes. Of course, we are taking Adrenaline Spike as well, so we'll have almost 30% action speed. In fact, for a budget kit, you could possibly go something like Adrenaline Rush as well, and that honestly might be... Now, I think you always want Sprint here. I think Sprint is a stronger skill than Second Wind even. I think Sprint is like the core of what makes Fighter viable and strong. So, do we swap out Second Wind for Adrenaline Rush? I'm gonna say no, let's not do that. Now, Adrenaline Rush is probably the only other skill which is really viable with the build like this. Of course, you can't even use some of them, such as Shield Slam. But I just think Adrenaline Rush is only really going to help us against melee fights, while Second Wind could help us against anything if they're kiting us out with, you know, a Warlock Curse of Pain, or a Ranger that keeps just shooting and running. Anything like that we're going to struggle with. I think Second Wind is the more versatile option. However, if you want to run Adrenaline Rush, you absolutely could with something like this. Okay, guys, let's go ahead and head in game, and I'll see you guys there. Okay, hey there, guys. Welcome. So, we are hitting very, very hard. We're hitting for, like, around 120 on the first attack, and they're, assuming headshots, this is. 120, then 140, then 160. So we should be, like, 2-hitting most things. Whether that will be enough, I don't know. We'll have to see how it goes, really. Wow, okay, just immediately we get, like, maybe better boots. So these give us more movement speed? No, they don't quite give us enough movement speed, but how much health do we gain? We do gain 6 health. Is that worth it? We do gain more armor, we gain more damage. For 3 movement speed, I honestly think that possibly is worth it. So I think we will actually go for that. That will, of course, make us heal for more from Second Wind and stuff like that as well. You know, we'll take bandages. We'll take the silver coins just for our quest. Ooh, goddamn it, almost insta-released. I was honestly considering whether we might actually one-tap the goblin there with the 3rd hit with our combo attack up. Oh, what is happening with this guy's staff? But no, not quite. Didn't quite have the damage for that. So of course they did recently do... shame we don't have any lockpicks, but it is what it is. Let's go ahead and grab the shrines. Take us up to 35% PDR, 25% magic resistance. Not going to be tanky by any means. There is a rogue in here that's relatively geared. There's also a barbarian in here that's relatively geared, so we need to be careful of those. Although, to be honest, the rogue, it's just whether he gets the drop on us or not. Ooh, those are decent as well, actually. I think we will actually take those. Those might actually sell for a pretty good amount on the market. If you're unaware, there also is this, like, right-click with a halberd, which has quite good range, to be honest. I mean, the halberd in general does have pretty good range. It's not really the range that's the issue, or the damage. It's just the fact that it slows you down by so much, like 50. The only weapon that slows you down by 50 that's really viable is the Warmaul. But the Warmaul has other bonuses, like, I believe it just does more damage, and it also has armor penetration as well, of course. But the Warmaul does have, like, a bit of a wonky attack pattern as well. That's another thing with the halberd. The attack pattern is a little bit questionable as well. It's quite easy to miss your hits, which is, like, surprising, because, you know, it's pretty good, pretty big swings. But it's mainly, like, the 3rd attack can come down from, like, a bit of a weird angle. It's not too bad. It's just one of the small reasons why I think the halberd isn't really that good of a weapon. The damage also just is probably not as high as I would expect. Like, this is a 57 damage weapon. And to be honest, we're not attacking that slowly, but we have a lot more dexterity or action speed than the average fighter build, I would say, because I have tried to, of course, stack up both agility and some depth and some action speed, and these things all, you know, combine together to give you more action speed than you could expect from most fighter builds. I do think Dex is like a stat which is a bit underrated, however, it does feel like a stat where just getting a little bit extra doesn't really help you that much. You need to get like quite a bit extra of it. I think I do need the ale for my quests. My inventory is already pretty full, but it's because we're taking quest times, I guess. Realistically, if you, you know, when you complete your quests... Oh, that was another... No, that one slows you by too much. I was thinking that was another helmet option. That one, of course, does give quite a bit of action speed, which doesn't really make sense to me, but... Quite a quiet run so far. Do have some good pieces here. I'm hoping... I'm not sure what our matchups are honestly going to be looking like with a build like this. I imagine it's going to be, you know, pretty similar to most fighter builds. I don't feel like really change too much. There was a player in that. I didn't see what class it was, though. They're around there creeping. It's a ranger. Okay, well, we did kill him there. As you see, the damage is very, very good. Did this guy have any gear? No, this guy was almost base kit. Well, he does have more meds for us. Let's go ahead and drop some of these, like, stacks. We don't need this many meds, but that'll be fine for us, I think. Does he have any decent pieces at all? No, not particularly. So, quickly, let's go ahead and campfire and get our second win back before we encounter anyone else. Yeah, I was going to say that guy did very low damage to us, but of course he did. It's a base kit ranger, and we do have some PDR. We do even have, like, the projectile resistance perk. Which, you know, this helps you out in quite a few ways that you wouldn't really think of. Like, it does help against certain spells, Fireball, Frostbolt, or Icebolt, whatever it's called. Magic Missile, it helps you against Bolt of Darkness, Throwing Axes, Throwing Knives, hand crossbow bolts from rogues. You know, this thing is probably better than you'd first think of. But it was being that nice, to be honest, when we popped our sprint and actually able to keep up with that guy. Granted, he did put his weapon out a bit late, but did you see that there? Now, it could say skill issue. That would probably be a reasonable thing as well to say. But I missed the second attack of the, halberd. It feels like... I don't know if it does, but it feels like it comes out from a weird angle, which makes that, like, harder to hit than it probably should be. Like, most stabs in this game, you know, are pretty easy to hit, and probably, like, the best hit of the, like, attack combo. But somehow, for me, it never really felt that good on the, halberd, and I'm not exactly sure why. But anyway, our inventory is looking relatively full already. I think I do need the water bottle request, but let's not worry about it. That guy did hit some good arrows, but I'm not sure what he went to go and put a trap down. Like, did he not see us at the door already? I don't know. I'm not really sure what that was. Ring of Resolve. Any good? No. Well, it's okay. It might sell for a little bit. Probably not much. Falchion, plus 2 additional weapon damage. Blue, that's solid. I think blue Viking swords also sell for a bit. I've been playing a bit of Barbarian recently with some friends. I do want to hop on the Barbarian again as well. I was having fun using the double axe. I'll probably do something like that again on the Barbarian soon. But yeah, we're going to be killing most players in 2 hits. You know, not Barbarians if they pop their Savage Roar. They will probably... If we get hit with the Savage Roar, and we hit them through that, I'm not sure how many hits they'll take, honestly. They might take something because it's crazy as like 5, so we need to definitely make sure... Okay, I thought that was a player there for a second. We need to definitely make sure that we're not fighting them if they have Savage Roar, which should be okay. A little bit of lag there. Although, of the Barbarian I saw in this lobby, he was not actually running Savage Roar, so... However, I didn't see everyone in the lobby, so there could have been someone. This is most likely The door opened that way, but I was thinking this is probably where the ranger that we killed was coming from, so this is probably his path, so there's probably no one else here right now. I have been dying a lot in the videos recently, guys, but I've been including these intentionally to try and show the strengths and the weaknesses of the builds, because if, you know, I could just edit out every death and only show the strong parts and only show the kills, but I feel like that's not really a genuine portrayal of the build, you know? Like, there's not really anything in the game where it's just good in all situations. There are, you know, a few things that are better than others, like Fighter is more of a generalist class, right? However, Fighter still really struggles, unless you're playing like Slayer or something, still really struggles against, for example, Wizards, Warlocks. Barbarian, I'd say, is a bit of a skill matchup, potentially. I don't know. I think if you fight on the Fighter's terms, it's Fighter-sided, but if you fight on the Barbarian's terms, it's Barbarian-sided, so... You know, I suppose that means it's a balanced matchup thinking about it, so maybe there's no complaints there, but... All I'm trying to say is that I don't really want to show off only the good parts of builds and only the strong parts, and I think that would be like an unfair portrayal, really, of these things. You can't really expect to just go in and stomp every single lobby and never die. You'll absolutely have streaks, like, the first time I played my Barbarian in the Zero to Hero in the previous series, didn't die for a ridiculous time. I think we went from, like, level 1 to level... I don't even know. At least level 15 without a single death. We were just steamrolling and killing everything we come across. And, you know, you will have those lucky streaks. But you will also have times where you just have bad streaks and it feels like there's nothing you can do. And that's just part of the game. Let's go ahead and clear out this inventory a little bit. We don't need this many meds. I want to take this cloak. This cloak is decent. 2 knowledge, 3 magical power. Should sell for a little bit. Now, honestly, our inventory's already pretty full. It is full of quite a few mid items, to be honest, but... I mean, if we find upgrades, of course we can absolutely drop it, but I think the smart choice would just be to try and find a quick blue and just take a fast extract. Speaking of a fast blue, I think the one just spawned up to the northeast, possibly. Sprint sounds so loud now. Of course, this, I'm not sure if that is new. It sounds new to me. But let's go ahead and just take a fast extract. Get some of our investment back. I'm not sure. This absolutely won't pay for the kit, but this will, you know, it'll give us some parts back. Or what we could do is try and find another person to fight. And if we start losing, just go ahead and do the coward's tactic and run away. And by the coward's tactic, I mean the smart tactic, but either way. Let's just go quickly have a look, see what's going on. Not much. It's still looking pretty dead in here. Yeah, alright. I think let's just go ahead and leave. We'll probably have to go quite far to actually find any more new players. Or any other players. This, of course, build, this won't struggle with PvE at all. This is going to be a strong PvE build. You know, something like a halberd, it's a high-range weapon and stuff. It does very high damage. It's fine for PvE, but, you know, come on. When you're probably not dying that often to PvE. Oh, there was actually a rogue, like, right next to where we were. Interesting. Yeah, this was the guy. This guy has pretty solid gear. I did see this guy, and he wasn't running a hand crossbow when I first inspected him, so he must have killed, like, another rogue by the look of it, seeing he's got exactly another rogue kit in his inventory. Yeah, guy does have pretty good gear. Is this guy really just creeping through the entire... He doesn't even run creep, actually. He's just walking through the entire map. Well, fair enough. A fighter, pretty low gear as well. We are, of course... Actually, I don't even know what rank we are. Let's go take a look. We are in Wanderer, so with the most recent patch, we are actually in the higher, like, matchmaking. I believe Neophyte and Apprentice are in the same matchmaking, and then Wanderer Plus is all now one kind of matchmaking. So it could be more balanced, or it could be worse, I don't know. I haven't really played much since the change, so we'll have to see how that goes. But so far, there was quite mixed kits there. Some people were in pretty damn good gear, some people were in relatively low gear, so... 163 gold, 170... 2 gold from treasures. Alright, so let's probably go and... We'll sell these boots we bought because we found these good ones. They're, you know, slight trade-off. We'll do a bit more damage, attack a bit faster, move a bit faster with these Lightfoots, but we'll be tankier with these. So, you know, it's a trade-off. I think we will take the increased health, though. 6 health is nothing to... You know, it's pretty decent. And how much action speed do we actually lose? We lose almost 1%, which is actually a surprising amount. That 3 agility is almost 1%, but yeah. Wow, looks like the cloak we got is only really going to be like 100 gold or something. I thought it would be more than that, to be completely honest. That's quite lackluster, but hey, it's okay. Looks like the falchion as well, probably only going to be about 125 gold or so. I don't believe the magical healing will really add anything. I guess if you're running like a Torture Mastery Crystal Ball Falchion Warlock build, it could help a bit, but I don't think that's worth increasing the price for. Maybe I'm wrong though. I believe these gloves will sell for about 170. So far, both things I put on the market have literally instantaneously sold, so possibly I am underpricing things today. You know, sometimes I go through overpricing things, sometimes I underprice things. It is what it is. And let's put out the boots that we bought. I believe we bought them for a good price, so let's go ahead and try and put them up for like 240 gold. This ring, I don't know, we might sell it. Let's just put it up for like 45 gold. Probably will sell for that price to someone who wants some really cheap rings. Alright, anyway, let's go ahead and head back in-game and see what we can do in this one. If you watch my videos much, you're probably can guess what I'm going to say. We should have spent 5 more gold in a gold pouch, but whatever, no worries. Not a big deal. Servers are pretty damn laggy at the start of games right now. There is a wizard who had his eyes on us, unfortunately, so... We'll see how that ends up, but yeah, we're gonna struggle with a wizard, like I say. I don't, because the halberd just slows you down too much. And of course we don't have a shield to try and block some of his spells or anything. Yeah, if we encounter that guy, it's gonna be a bit rough. I think immediately, let's try and push away from the middle of the map, and let's go ahead and head south for now. There is some pretty good loot down here. In this... Oh, wow, we don't even two-shot these guys. That's surprising. Maybe because that second one wasn't a headshot. Not sure. Nightmare Goblin. Just be careful a little bit. Fine. 3 hit. Yeah. Down in this region here... Oh, should we take that Arming Sword just in case? And ironically, I think we take this just in case we encounter that wizard. Possibly it will help us, run him down, because we are pretty fast. It's just, we're not, the only reason we're not fast is because of our bloody halberd giving us minus 50. So I think it's possible that, with only a minus 20 and sprint, possible that we can just run him down. But we'll have to see. We'll still have to play it well. We have no anti-magic potions or anything, of course. If you're coming in with like a, you know, a pretty good kit, you pretty much definitely should invest in, you know, some blue pots, some anti-magic potions. The anti-magic potions are, you know, not as expensive now that they actually spawn in the dungeon. So there's like people use them much more commonly. Just being patient here, guys, with the PvE. We don't want to take any unnecessary damage if we can avoid it, just with a bit of patience. I believe there was actually a spawn in this room to our west, but perhaps I'm wrong, because I feel like these mobs would already be cleared if there was. You do need to keep an eye out every now and then behind you, just to make sure that, you know, you don't have anyone creeping up on you. The game does feel a lot less safe now that you could have someone creeping up on you. I still haven't really experienced anyone doing that. Well, I've seen people sneaking around, but I haven't actually had anyone creep up on me yet. So, I can't say, you know, I can't really say I've experienced it too much, but just something to be wary of now. Of course, previously, you could hear someone even if they were crouching or slow walking. It made basically no difference on how quiet they were, it seemed like. Maybe a very, very slight difference, but you could still hear them clear as day. It just slowed the footsteps down, so... I'm glad there's a reason to creep, but whether they should be completely silent or just, you know, much more quiet, who really knows? I suppose there's probably quite a bit of discussion in the community about that. I'm not 100% sure. I don't even know what I think. But to be honest, I don't think it's as big of a deal as people make it out to be, at least so far in my experiences. But again, maybe it's just because we're in like lower ranks, although now that's not supposed to be an issue. That's supposed to be the same now, so I don't know. I suppose that could be a decent base as well. Ring of Vitality, let's have a look. Ring of Vitality, 2% magical reduction. It's something, but agility, phys damage reduction, cloak, let's go ahead and take that. Don't think a blue Warmaw with 3 physical power sells for that much, but I could be wrong. Haven't actually sold any of those or bought any recently, so, well, there's one magic protection potion. Let's not bother with white treasures. Maybe we should and just replace white treasures with, you know, better ones when we find them, but sometimes just having inventory space, actually, what I meant to do as well is to keep that open, so we can put our halberd in our inventory if we need to. So we can easily swap over to that arming sword if necessary. It'd be weird playing a fighter and not having a shield equipped or a two-hander, but, you know. Seems, again, like a quiet run. I thought immediately we'd pretty much be running into someone, because I believed someone did spawn down here, but maybe it's more off to the sides that they spawn down here. Maybe it's off to the east, to the west. So make sure we shot this behind us. There is pretty damn good loot in here. However, there's a zombie down here and a mummy that spawns as well. And I also don't really like going down here because you can't hear anything. But that does kind of go both ways because I believe it's actually very difficult to hear things that are going on under the water as well. So it's not really like it's a one-way street. But you can see the range on the halberd is actually pretty good. Like, I was... if you didn't watch my Warlock video recently, I did die to it, and it didn't even look like he hit me, to be completely honest. It looked like he was either lagging or something, but perhaps the range of the halberd is just better than I remember. 3 additional physical damage cloak will probably sell for more than that. I don't think... I guess we might as well take them, but I don't think they're really going to sell for much. We need to clear this inventory up a little bit. Let's go ahead. Yeah, that looks better. Let's go ahead and loot this and then probably head... I guess just kind of where we spawned, possibly, to the north, or we could head over to the east. Maybe let's head over to the east. The only thing is it will spawn another mummy, but that's not that big of a deal. We are, as you can see, the damage is very, very high. We're killing mobs very quickly, very few hits. Purple bandage, wow, okay. I haven't seen a purple bandage in a long while. Yeah. Those legs aren't really that good. There's a goblin mage up here, which means no one's cleared in this room at the very least. So, another goblin here. Where do we want to go? I do need to learn the bosses properly at some point. Those would probably be nice to show off. I believe this build would have probably no issues clearing the bosses. Again, you're very fast, and being quick is like one of the most important parts of actually killing the bosses, is just being able to avoid the mechanics. You know, you're unable to tank the mechanics, really. Like, you will just die if you're not quick enough, so... You know, if you're playing a very slow plate fighter, PDR fighter, you're probably gonna struggle with the bosses more than someone who's just playing like a more balanced build with decent amount of movement speed. I have killed the boss. I have only killed Troll. I've never actually tried Cyclops, but right now it's seeming like one of the best ways to get loot as a solo, which, you know, is completely reasonable, to be honest. So it's probably something I should look into. I'll probably do some farming off camera and see if I can down the Cyclops. I downed the rogue. I downed the Cave Troll as a base kit rogue. Took a few attempts, but had to learn the mechanics and get it down. And I think now I could probably kill it relatively consistently. Let's go and take a peek in here. There is, of course, a spawn right in this room. And quite often there's people just tucked away in the corners in this room. I don't really like walking into this room, because if there was a rogue here, as I opened the door, he could have just stealthed, and we could get landmined pretty quickly. Again, we're not that tanky, so... if a rogue does pop out on us that we're unaware of, it's going to be pretty rough. We're most likely just going to die unless he messes up pretty majorly. That's another thing with the halberd. Hitting near doorways, yeah, good luck. You're not going to hit near doorways. You can't... the only thing you can really do is try and use that and then hit with a second hit, but someone will just walk away if they, you know what they're doing. God, the ball, this thing is so laggy. 2 hits. Yep, 2 hits, perfect. There's a health shrine here. There is pretty decent loot down here. Let's check if this is already cleared. No, it's not cleared. It is dark here, though. It's darker than usual. Someone turned off a light thing, or does that light thing sometimes not spawn on? Actually, not sure. Another thing with the halberd as well is if someone gets up very, very close to you, you're not going to be hitting with the end, so you're not going to be doing the maximum damage you could per hit, and you're going to be dealing, you know, quite significantly reduced damage. I don't mean to just list all the negatives of the halberd, but to be honest, there are quite a few, so it's definitely something to bear in mind. There's a reason why this weapon isn't, like, meta or cheap. Or expensive, sorry. But it can surprise you in a few ways. It's not the worst weapon in the game by any means. That title I would have previously given to the Horseman's Axe, probably, because it just kind of got over-nerfed. But recently they did buff it again a little bit. Is it better now? Of course it's better, but is it good enough to be viable? Possibly. I don't know. It's something I want to try out. It still does slow you down more than the Viking sword. And to get the same, or like slightly better damage, you have to take the perk, the axe specialization, 5 flat damage, added to each swing of an axe, which is, you know, it's pretty good. But Barbarian already has some pretty good perks. You know, you kind of always want Potion Chugger, you always want Robust, you pretty much always want Iron Will. Do you really want to be running? I think we will just drop the Arming Sword and hope we don't come across that wizard. I hope we don't come across that wizard and wish we had that and come to regret dropping that sword, but to be honest, perhaps I should have kept hold on that, kept that for now. You could go and see if anyone's doing the boss. Let's just have a creep for a moment and just take a moment to listen out. See if we can hear anything. No, not hearing anything at all. The only thing I'm hearing, of course, is that goblin down there. So I think let's possibly go this way. Now, realistically, we should probably be unequipping our weapon, but I'm worried that we could possibly walk into a rogue. Is this cleared? No, this isn't cleared, so we should be pretty safe down here. Okay, it is actually cleared over there. Let's go ahead and grab the Shrine of Protection. Is that body up there? It's goblin body, okay. We could go and kill the centipede, try and get some jewelry upgrades. That might be a pretty good idea. The only thing is... Okay, because the door is coming this way, it means someone's opened it towards the area here. And the same here, someone's opened it in this way. Someone's actually fighting a centipede there. What class is that? I couldn't really tell. We're not able to get to them very easily. We kind of have to go back here, up and around, which is probably what we'll do. I think they were a ranger, however, I'm not 100% sure. Dead body there. I do hear them this way. That's the wizard. I don't know if we want to mess with a wizard. Can hear fireballs going off. Maybe we should have tried to third-party him there. However, if we're going to die, it's likely that we're going to die to this wizard. But I think let's go ahead and try it. There's a barbarian over there. The barbarian I'm not so worried about. It's the wizard that I'm primarily worried about. Let's go ahead and shut this door behind us. I'm imagining the wizard's probably pretty low on spells, so he's probably looking to go and reset. Let's go ahead and head through this door and maybe flank around. Perhaps we can catch him in a bad position. They did recently make it so when you're crouching or slow walking now, you are slowed much more than you were before. I hear him. Is he here somewhere? Lots of bodies here. What happened here? We need to be a bit careful here. Because we did, of course, just hear footsteps. So someone could easily be coming back soon. Let's quite ratty gameplay here. I will admit. Probably the rattiest fighter you've seen. I heard a portal open back here. Interesting. Well, let's see if these guys have anything of any value. There are some decent pieces here. Does that stack? It does. And this guy? Any +2 all attributes? No. Vigor move speed, that's almost exactly the same cape as what we have. Falchions, decent. Let's drop those. This one all attributes, and then I don't know, just any green treasure, I guess. Oh wait, no, there's actually lockpicks. I think I'd actually prefer the lockpick. Those might sell for a bit as well, actually. There's not much space left now. We kind of do need to... Now, you do still struggle sometimes for extractions on this map. So that's something we need to be wary of. I did just hear someone pull out a potion. There's a guy in here with a portal open. Is there any point of fighting him? There's no point of pushing into him, because if he wins the fight, he's just going to obviously win and kill us. If he loses the fight, he's just going to take the portal out before we can kill him. Unless we can surprise him through damage. We are pretty full on our inventory. I'm surprised that we didn't really get involved that much in the fight. Like, this must have been an absolute slaughter. No wonder we didn't see anyone around the southern side of the map. Everyone was up here and then, like, middle fighting. Yeah. I think at this point we're probably the only person left here. Again, we do have to respect wizards quite a lot, so that's why we didn't really immediately push into it, and we would have... It's a good job we didn't, because we would have had the barbarian on us as well. That almost certainly would have been just a guaranteed death, unless, you know, we can catch the wizard in a bad position, and then perhaps the bard is also damaged as well. I don't know. The barbarian, sorry. Although I didn't hear that guy extract, but of course I guess we did just leave the area, so possibly that's why. Yeah, I don't believe there's anyone else left in this run. Let's just go ahead and leave. Again, we made some more gold. Pretty uneventful run, but we need to take smart fights. We can't just bash our heads against anyone we come across and hope that we'll win, because most likely we won't if we're taking a bad fight. And that's, of course, one of the most important parts about solo. 317 gold from our treasures. So most of our things have sold so far, so we're probably around half of our investment back so far, but we do have some more things to sell here, so let's go ahead and see how much we're gonna get from these as well. Looking like probably around 300 gold for this cape. Actually, I think that guy is underselling his cape a little bit. So ours is quite considerably worse than this, actually, so maybe it is just a solid like 300 gold. Not bad at all. 3 additional physical damage. Of course, very nice for anything that attacks fast. We did get an agility neck with +1 all attributes as well, just green, so let's go ahead and put that up for another 75 gold or so. We could swap ours out possibly, but I don't think it really matters too much. Let's just go ahead and put this on the market for 75. Alright, let's go ahead and put this ring up for probably around, you know, I don't know, 90 gold or something. It's not amazing, but it's decent. Let's go ahead and 95, and hopefully it'll sell at that. You know, these green rings with 1 stat, if that 1 stat isn't +1 all attributes or something that synergizes very well with the stat, quite often they don't really sell for much, so... And yes, that 1 for 50 we absolutely should have bought, but I didn't, just because to, you know, keep an eye on how much gold we've actually made rather than from flipping something that someone's just underpriced. I don't think this thing will sell for much at all. Let's just go 45 and hopefully it will sell quickly. For some reason, knowledge and physical power is actually selling for quite high. Perhaps maybe for bards or maybe melee warlocks, something along those lines. So it looks like we're probably going to sell this for about another 125 gold, which is more than I thought it was going to be. I thought that was going to be one of our least valuable items, to be completely honest. Okay, so far we're at just under half of our investment back. Okay, welcome back, guys. I just want to say, if you're enjoying the video, I'd appreciate likes massively. If you'd like to see more like this, subscriptions will help us both out in that regard. Thank you very much for watching. Let's get back into the game anyway. So there were 3 barbarians at least. It looks like we've got quite a melee-filled lobby. We've got a divine protection cleric. We've got at least 3 barbarians. 2 of them, one of them very geared. One of them, you know, mid kind of gear, and 1 base kit. I did also see a very low gear fighter as well, so I'm not too sure what we're going to really come across in this run, if we come across anything at all. Perhaps everyone will just fight on the complete opposite side of the map to us, like they did in the previous run. But we'll see what we can do. 3 additional weapon damage recurve. I think bows generally are just very cheap, and they're like very, very good. I could be wrong though. I think we're going to probably push to the north. I think there is a player spawn pretty close, usually. Perhaps to the west, perhaps to the east. I have even spawned in this room myself. However, that might have been when Goblin Caves was 3x3. Someone's running the Blood Exchange Achilles Strike build. It looks like that build has kind of made a bit of a comeback. It's weird because, personally, for me, now, obviously, I'm not a game developer or anything, but I've played a fair bit of this game, and I would have made the choice to break the Blood Exchange and Achilles Strike, like, combo, and I would have buffed each strike each skill individually to make them viable, more viable on their own, but not as strong together, and Iron Mace went the complete opposite direction, and allowed the combo, but nerfed the skills individually, which, in my opinion, that is the wrong, or like a poor way to go around it, the wrong way to go about it. Because now those skills are only really usable together because of how strong they are. Well, not Achilles Strike is still viable, but basically Blood Exchange is not really viable unless you're running Achilles Strike as well. Which, I don't know, I feel like that's the incorrect way to go about it. I am quite happy with a lot of the changes the devs make in this game, but that one specifically was like, I disagree with that one entirely. But I don't know, I'm not much of a Barb player, I just play it every now and then. Pretty fun. So, maybe Bob's really wanted that combo to stay. I'm surprised with how quiet some of these runs have been. I'm not sure if everyone's just running around deathmatching in the middle of the map or what particularly. We're not making as much gold as we could be, because a lot of the time I'm just taking quest items instead, which so far is the case in this run as well. So bear in mind, if you've already completed your quests, or if this is like your main character, you're gonna basically just be making more gold than I will in these runs here, because the fighter I haven't really played much so far this wipe. Got a bit tired of playing it so much when I was grinding for Demigod. Let's make sure we have the higher tier Francisca's out ready. Oh, there's a player there. Okay. I was pretty confident there we didn't really need to actually use anything, because I thought that guy was in low gear, especially the way he just came at us. You know, if I thought we had a chance, I would have popped, if I thought he had a chance, or we had a chance to lose, I would have popped second wind. I also would have blue potted, but I just didn't think we need to. However, that is a dangerous game, and I wouldn't recommend that, because if you die to that guy, you feel like a complete idiot, and I would know because I've done that many, many times. Does actually have a decent chest piece, to be honest. He did take an extra hit than I thought he would, but I suppose it's because he's got a fine cuirass with 104 armor. With some, it actually gives stats now as well, vigor and strength. I don't think this is as bad as it used to be. Is it better than what we've got on? Probably not, but... Oh, this guy also bought a bug shell in it. I have no idea if this thing is, like, a quest item, or if it's going to be a rare crafting item, or what, but... Shadow Masks also sell pretty well, generally, so... I can't believe I missed that crossbow bolt, honestly. That guy's crouching, like, kind of stuck, and I still missed it. But, either way. The crossbow, if you don't use the crossbow very often, it's quite easy to miss shots. It's one of the... I'd say it's a lot harder to hit a crossbow shot than a bow shot, but maybe that's just due to, you know, with a bow you have a bunch more tries immediately after, whilst with a crossbow you have to go and reload. Alright, let's go down here to the south. Let's go ahead and destroy these boxes, see if we can hear anyone down here. Skeleton's still alive, so people haven't really passed through here, most likely. Just be careful of these things. Again, we do have quite a few meds, so we don't really have to worry about too much about taking unnecessary damage, but sometimes it's not so much about the meds that you're using, it's more about, like, you're now using time sat around just medding when you could be out there, like, you know, progressing. Especially if someone runs up to you whilst you're medding, it can be a absolute disaster. Some pretty... I didn't mean to pick those up. Got some pretty good items so far. Treasure-wise, anyway. Should be a pretty good amount of gold. Let's go ahead and take this death beetle out. If you're unaware as well, if you play much Goblin Caves, you almost certainly will know this, but lots of these ladders have been added to, like, previously one-way areas, so the map is a lot nicer now to traverse. God, why is the game so laggy? I swear it didn't used to be this bad. I know since, like, one of the most recent hotfixes, it has been very, very laggy. I believe it's hotfix 40, but I thought they improved it a lot, but I'm feeling it a lot right now. Maybe it's Goblin Caves again, I'm not sure. A lot of this pathing is probably looking quite inefficient, but honestly, it feels like in Goblin Caves, outside of, like, the bosses and, you know, if you're in a room with, like, a lion's head, it feels like it doesn't really particularly matter where you go. Right, so if we hit all those Franciscas, it's... If we hit 4 Franciscas, it's probably not going to be enough to kill someone. It's good to know how much they did reduce the damage. Again, I don't really think that was the issue with throwing axes. I would have balanced them in a different way. I would have made it so you could only bring in a certain amount of axes. I think that would have been like... Or perhaps, you know, you could have to... Well, I was going to say, they could have it so, like, rather than having the equip time, you have a belt specifically for throwables or something. And then you can only carry throwables on that belt or something like that, but that would require more work, I guess. It's, you know, like a complete system change. What's that god? I was gonna say that Goblin Mage looks quite ominous there, but I think I heard a footstep over this way. Could have been a goblin or something, though. It could have been me hearing things. Yeah, I'm only hearing good goblin footsteps right now. Someone has been through here, obviously, and cleared this out. Whether they're still here somewhere, I don't particularly know. But that looks so buggy over there. I thought it was someone moving in stealth, but it's just the dead goblin's, like, shield spawning in and out. I suppose once I've learned how to do the Cyclops, we'll try and do a bunch more bossing, however. Hopefully we don't have any, embarrassing mistakes. I don't think they're particularly that difficult. It's just, you know, recognizing the attack patterns and stuff, which does take a little while, especially if you're a bit out of practice. Yeah, look at that range, though. I'm surprised by the range on the halberd every time I use it. Yeah, I hear someone. Barbarian? We're getting our sprint back soon, but he's got that back. We need to keep up the pressure right now. He's going to shut that door on us. He can get one more potion chugger off. We continue running, we keep up the pressure. He's going to run through that door and shut it behind him. Okay, we're going to take this time to reload our crossbow. Thing is, we can't keep this up forever because he's just going to... We need to shut the doors behind us because otherwise he's just going to keep shutting them in front of... or behind him. Pop a blue potion, let's go fight. Ah, goodbye him, goodbye him. Oh. Ooh, damn. Okay, good mind game by him. I thought he was actually going to... This is the problem with the halberd though, guys. We have no chance of hitting this guy unless he actually wants to fight. So what's he going to go do now? He's going to go and heal up. And then we're down a second wind. We got him very, very low there. So we're going to have to go and campfire as well somewhere. Let's go somewhere I think he won't... Because we're never going to guess where he went unless he's just randomly hiding in here or something. Unless he had like a similar thought process. So I think let's just go ahead and campfire here, get a second wind back, and then we can look for a re-engagement. We did use a bunch of blue potions there. Okay, I thought I heard footsteps, so I cancelled it. I'm definitely hearing footsteps, obviously. Okay, now let's just commit to it, because I think he, I doubt they'll hear this. The zone is coming in right now, but, you know, we're having a campfire right now, so we're not going to take too much damage. We can easily just put a potion down. Campfiring is actually relatively quiet, so I would be surprised if he does hear this. And this is the problem with the halberd. You're just going to struggle to actually catch people. There's many weapons like this. Over there. Is that crossbow reloaded? No. Good job we took the time to actually check. There's a dead player here. This guy's probably got nothing on him at all. Well, he's got some stuff, but... Again, he's just going to do the same, so let's just go ahead and reload our crossbow. Bad shot there. What? Yeah, it's such a miserable matchup. He's gonna try and, like, jump switch, no? Okay. Well, right now, if he wants to do that, he can do that. He doesn't have crush, good to know. Ah, shame. Oh, got stuck on this here. Can't. Okay, got him. Nice. Good kill. Good fight. We need to heal. Surge kit. Yeah, perfect. So you can see the damage we're putting out is very, very, very good. It's just we are very susceptible to getting kited, which is already one of Fighter's issues. Now, we are currently down a campfire, so... sorry, second wind. And we have no campfire. Let's just grab what we can, grab whatever value we can. I do hear someone. Ooh, I'm shaking. You can probably see in my movement. I do hear someone else behind us. Crap, I didn't actually think about this. Is this static open? The static is open. Okay, so we do have time. A little bit. Let's go ahead, move that there, move this here. Yeah, we definitely want that cape. Drop green. Someone else here. Grab that cape. Check his boots real quick and then we'll be out of here. Okay, his boots or whatever. Grab that. Let's get out of here. I think we did that relatively well. Let's check this guy. Someone using a double axe. Interesting. Respect. Are they just dead, though? They grabbed the Zweihander. Do they have... Okay, they have a portal. Alright, damn. Okay, that was a tense fight. I thought for a second that we were dead, but he committed to the fight. All he should have done is continued running and potion chugging. He could have taken the extract even. There were many things he could have done there to live, but hey, we got some gear upgrades. We beat a class. You know... Did we play it better than him? I'd say no, but he's faster than us, right? So it's kind of on him to misplay. I don't know how we ever really are supposed to catch people, because the halberd takes a long while to get out as well. But I feel like that was a good game to demonstrate the strengths of this build and also the weaknesses. You would do insane damage, you have good range, but you're very slow, very susceptible to getting kited. Imagine we were in full plate there and we weren't wearing, like, you know, move speed helmet. I guess we could just drop the dark plate armor, but possibly we could have died there if we had much less armor. You know, our boots have quite a bit of movement speed on them. Our cloak has move speed. Obviously, we've changed out our rings now and we've upgraded quite significantly to what he had. We've got +2 all attributes neck now. Let's go ahead, see what's sold, put some more of these things up on the market and see what we can get. 240 gold back from our Lightfoot boots, 45 gold from this Ring of Vitality. From the collector, 183 gold, not too bad for the few items we did have. I probably shouldn't have kept this bug shell, I'm going to be honest. There's probably a reason this guy bought this in. It's probably completely useless or something right now, but hey, we keep it and hopefully stonks in the future, it'll go up and actually be useful, but we'll see. I don't really know why people run, like, flat physical damage on, like, barbarians when you're running, like, a Zweihander or something, because it's very slow. You attack very, very slowly. Like, compared to that to, like, a rogue, if you're having, like, +16 phys damage as a rogue, that's massive. Well, as a barbarian, it's good. Obviously, it's quite a lot, but 16 is, like, BIS. But then you're getting, like, nowhere near the value compared to, like, a rogue or something. But I guess it's just because, I don't know. I guess it's still probably going to be more damage than, like, similar rolls of physical damage bonus or physical power or strength, so maybe that's why? I don't know. But anyway, enough ranting. Let's go ahead and see what these things will be worth. I imagine some of these pieces will be worth quite a lot. Generally, this gear was, you know, very good. I think for the sake of the video, we'll probably stick to the pieces that we had before that kill. Although I did actually drop one of our rings, so we can't have the exact same gear that we did have. But I mean, these legs are going to be worth like 600 gold on their own. These gloves we're probably looking at around 350 gold. They're not as good as I thought they would be. I thought they'd be a little bit higher than that, to be honest. For the cape, we're probably looking at around, you know, just under 600 gold. We'll probably go for 550. Just for a quick sell, because we are starting to run out of, well, actually, we'd be... no, we are starting to run out of spaces on the market. But as you can see, we got... That guy's kit was considerably better than ours, but he's using, like, you know, relatively meta pieces. He's playing a meta barbarian build, so perhaps at the same kind of budget, an off-meta build could be better. However, obviously this isn't enough to say so for sure or anything, so And the loose trousers again are like another 600 gold, maybe even more, because the magical power, something got like this could be used by a wizard perhaps. Bonk wizard maybe. I'm not really too sure. Let's go ahead and have a look, see if any of these 2 attribute ones have like magical power or something on them. Honestly, I don't know. There's some of these which I would prefer to the one we have. So, then again, there's this one, 2 all attributes, 2 magical power for 800. I think 800 is optimistic for this, but I could be wrong. I mean, this hasn't been up for very long. This has only been up for like less than 4 hours, so maybe it will actually sell? I don't know. Let's try 900. I don't really know if it's going to sell for that, but let's chuck it up and see. Aside from that, we got another 3 additional physical damage ring with 2 agility, so that one's going to be another huge amount of gold. Looks like we're looking at least another 700 gold for this one. Let's check the other stats. Physical damage reduction as well. Okay, that thing is actually insane. Okay, so our ring is slightly worse than this one for 1,590 gold. So I don't know if it's going to sell for that much. Let's try for like 1,450 maybe. That even seems insane to me, but it is very, very good. So let's try it. And a +2 all attributes frost amulet. Let's do a quick price check on that. Looking like another 175-ish gold. Let's go 170. And of course, we do even have another few other rings that are pretty good as well. We did also get this one, which is insane. I think let's probably swap over. I'm not sure which of these is going to be cheaper. I want to use like, okay, not that one because that one gives us almost nothing. But out of these, let's, I think, use the cheapest one. I think the cheapest one will probably be this one. And then let's just sell the other 2. Oh, wait, we only have space for 1. So I guess we'll just sell 1 and store the other one for now. Looking like, you know, another 400 something damage for the 2 dexterity one. Sorry, damage? Gold. Let's just chuck it up pretty cheap. Let's go 430 and hopefully that sells quickly. Okay, hey there guys, welcome back. This will probably be the final run of the video, whether we die or not. I feel like, honestly, that previous fight showed the strengths and weaknesses of this build off pretty perfectly. Like, you know, we do very good damage, very, very good range. This might honestly be one of the highest range melee weapons. Well, it's definitely one of, but is it straight up the highest movement speed? Sorry, not movement speed. Range melee weapon in the game? Possibly. But it also showed off the downsides of you're just very slow. If someone's kiting you, there's basically nothing you can do unless you're faster than them, which you're going to be slower than pretty much every other class in the game. Maybe Cleric will be slower than you, but even that depends on what Cleric build they're running. So, I don't know. Is this viable? I'd actually say, yeah, it is definitely viable. Is this meta? Well, obviously it's not meta. Does this have the strengths to be meta? I'd say no, honestly. The downsides, I feel like, are just going to be too punishing in a bunch of matchups. I feel like this could only really be viable if the only classes you're playing against really are all melee ones that want to fight you. And in this game, there's like a bunch of warlocks and wizards and stuff, so it's quite split. But I'm quite happy that we did get that quite intense fight there, which did show some of the strengths, some of the weaknesses. That guy made a bunch of good decisions in that fight. He was playing it very well all the way up until he decided to throw those throwing axes in my face. He just misjudged the spacing and got punished for it. There is a guy in here that I could hear. Let's go ahead and open the door. Oh, I missed the hit. Damn. I think he would have died if I hit that. Let's have a look. Check his health. Yeah, he probably would have died if I hit that. That's unfortunate. That's, again, like I say, one of the issues with the halberd is it's just got quite a bad attack pattern. Like, you know, the falchion or it's something like the warmaw, the falchion, they hit basically the entire room that you're standing in, right? You can't really miss hits that much. Only if someone jumps or crouches, possibly, you could miss the swipe. But with a halberd, somehow this is like the easiest weapon in the game to miss with. I don't know why. But anyway, maybe that's a skill issue. Maybe that's me. Maybe if you had more practice with it, you did well. But, you know, well played to this guy. I really thought we had the advantage there, but he does very, very big damage. Lots of people, I've seen lots of people using double axes since I made the video. I'm not saying my video changed it at all or anything, but I've just seen a bunch, and before that I felt like I hadn't seen any. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching. We've made, you know, a bunch of gold back. I feel like we had a pretty good showcase of the strengths, the weaknesses of this build. Not too much utility you can do with it, so I don't know if it's going to be really that good of a build, but at least it's something to possibly try out if you wanted to try this out. Thank you very much for watching, guys. If you liked the video, I'd appreciate likes. If you'd like to see more like this and you're not already, consider subscribing. It'll help us both out in that regard. Thank you very much, guys. I hope to see you in the next one. Bye-bye.